Let me start by telling you something that might make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. For years, the financial industry has been feeding us a lie, a loud, persistent, anxiety-inducing lie. That lie is work as long as possible, maximize your nest egg, delay retirement until you hit 67, 70, even 75 if you can, because that's the only way to be safe. That's the default advice. That's what your HR department tells you. That's what the talking heads on TV scream at you. That's what your well-meaning friends who are still grinding say to your face. I bought into that lie for decades. I thought if I didn't work until I was 70, I'd end up eating cat food in a studio apartment. I thought work was the only thing keeping me mentally sharp, giving me an identity. I was wrong. So wrong. But here's the thing no one talks about. That advice, it's not designed for you. It's designed for the institutions that profit from your labor, your contributions, your fear of running out of money. And if you follow it blindly, you're not buying security. You're trading away the only thing you can never get back. Time. Healthy, vibrant, energetic time. Let's do the math, real math, not the fake math the industry uses to scare you. From age 60 to 80, you have roughly 1,000 weeks of healthy, active life. Not 1,000 weeks of being alive. 1,000 weeks where you can hike, travel, play with grandkids, learn new skills, actually enjoy the freedom you've been working for. Let that sink in. 1,000 weeks total. Now let's add the first variable. Let's say you're 62 right now. You're thinking, I'll work until 67 to max out my Social Security. Get that full benefit. Simple, right? No, that's 5 years, 260 weeks. You're giving up more than a quarter of your entire healthy retirement window. For what? An extra $1,000 a month in Social Security? Maybe $2,000 if you're a high earner. But those 260 weeks? They're the weeks when you're in your 60s. Your healthiest, most energetic retirement years. The years where you can actually do the things that are impossible at 75. Travel to Italy, hike the Rockies, spend all day building something with your hands. At 75, you might be able to sit on a porch. You won't be booking a 10-day trip to Southeast Asia. That's the trade. And no one tells you that the trade is rigged. You're trading non-renewable time for renewable money. Money you can always make more of if you need to. Time gone. Forever. I used to think that was a fair trade. I thought, I'll work a few more years, pad my savings, then retire rich. But then I looked at my friend Sarah. She's 70 now. She worked until 68 to max out her pension, just like the experts said. Her husband got diagnosed with early-onset dementia at 69. They had planned this 6-week trip to Tuscany for 10 years. They never took it. She told me last month, I wish I'd retired at 65. We had 3 good years to travel together. Now it's too late. That's the cost of waiting. It's not a number on a spreadsheet. It's a trip you never take. A grandkid's first soccer game you miss because you're stuck in a meeting. A walk with your spouse you skip because you're too tired from work. But wait, you say. If I retire early, I'll get bored. I'll lose my mental edge. I need work to stay sharp. That's another lie. Another anxiety-inducing myth pushed by people who have never actually retired. Let's look at the actual data. Not the fear-mongering headlines. Real research. When you retire, especially from a high-stress job, your cortisol levels drop. Your blood pressure goes down. You sleep better. You have time to actually take care of yourself. I was a lawyer for 25 years. Then I ran an art gallery for 10. When I was working, I ate lunch at my desk every day. Skipped exercise because I was too tired. Ate fast food 4 nights a week because I didn't have time to cook. My blood pressure was 140/90. I was on the edge of prediabetes. I thought that was normal. I thought this is what being an adult is. Then I retired. Fully at 62. First thing, my cortisol dropped. I started sleeping 8 hours a night. I started taking 2-hour walks in the middle of the day. I joined a gym. I cook every meal now. My blood pressure is 110/70. I have more energy now at 65 than I did at 50. More energy than when I was working 80-hour weeks. Why? Because I'm not spending 10 hours a day in meetings, dealing with other people's emergencies, coming home drained and numb. And here's the part no one tells you. That energy, it's not just for napping. It's for building something new. When I was working, I didn't have the mental bandwidth to learn anything new. Now, I taught myself video editing, thumbnail design, script writing. I started this YouTube channel. It's not just a hobby. It's meaningful. It keeps me sharp. It lets me connect with people like you. And yeah, it makes a little money too. But that's not the point. The point is I wouldn't have done any of this if I was still working. I didn't have the space, the time, the energy. Traditional retirement advice tells you to retire at 67, then sit on a beach for 3 years until you get bored, then wonder why you feel useless. That's not retirement. That's early obsolescence. Humans aren't designed to stop contributing. We need purpose. We need to be building something, creating, contributing. Look at the cultures that rank highest in happiness globally. They're the ones that value creativity, innovation, strong social ties, and individual purpose. Retirement gives you the time to tap into that, to pursue the things you've always wanted to do, but never had space for. I thought when I retired I'd just relax, play golf, travel a little. But after 6 months I was bored. Then I remembered I always wanted to make art. Then I ran the gallery. Then I found YouTube. Now I'm building something that helps people. That's purpose. That's what keeps me going. And I only have that because I retired early enough to have the time to find it. Think about it. If you work until 70, you'll be 75 by the time you figure out what you want to do with your life. Is that enough time? Probably not. But if you retire at 62, you have 8 years of healthy time to experiment. Fail. Try again. Build something that matters to you, not to your boss, not to your company. To you, you've been a lawyer for 30 years. That's your identity. People introduce you as "this is John, the lawyer." You introduce yourself that way. But who are you when you're not a lawyer? Most people have no idea. They've tied their entire self-worth to a job title. Then they retire, and they fall apart, because they don't know who they are anymore. That's the bonus reason no one puts in the retirement brochures. Retiring early gives you the space to redefine yourself, to discover who you are without the label of your job. I'm not just a retired lawyer, I'm a creator, a mentor, a person who loves long walks and bad puns, and helping people plan their lives. That's who I am. And I found that because I had time to sit with myself, without the noise of work, and figure it out. I've talked to hundreds of retirees. The ones who retired early, they're happy. They know who they are. The ones who worked until 70, a lot of them are lost. They don't know what to do with themselves, because they never gave themselves time to be anyone other than their job title. A New York Life survey found nearly half of everyone who delayed retirement wishes they'd retired 4 years earlier than 65. I've never once heard someone say they regret retiring too early. Not once. But I've heard dozens say they wish they'd retired sooner. That's the pattern. No one regrets having more time. Everyone regrets having less. But wait, you say. I can't retire at 62. I don't have $1 million. The experts say I need $1 million to retire. Another lie. Another anxiety-inducing myth. Let's look at the data. The median retirement savings for Americans aged 65 to 74 is just $200,000. Only a tiny single-digit percentage of retirees have more than $1 million saved, and 75% of retirees say they're happier in retirement than when they were working. How? Because retirement isn't just about your savings, it's about Social Security, pensions, part-time work, cutting expenses. Most people don't need $1 million. They need enough to cover their essential expenses, plus a little for fun. And if you retire early, you have time to earn a little money doing something you love, which reduces the amount you need to pull from your savings. Most of us have a magical number in our heads. A number we think we need to retire. We work extra years to hit that number. But when you actually sit down and calculate what you need, factor in Social Security, a pension, maybe some part-time income from that fulfilling thing you're going to do anyway, that number might be lower than you think. Those extra years you're working to hit the perfect number, they might be costing you more in quality of life than they're worth. I'm not telling you to retire if you're not financially ready. That's irresponsible. But if you're close, if the math works, retire as soon as you can. Here's a variable no one talks about. Taxes. If you retire at 59.5, you can pull from your traditional IRA without the 10% early withdrawal penalty. Between 59.5 and 73, you have a 10 to 15-year window where you can convert traditional IRA money to Roth, lower your future required minimum distributions, avoid Medicare surcharges. If you keep working until 65, you miss half that window. You pay more in taxes over your lifetime. More money to the IRS, less money for you. That's another hidden cost of waiting. No one puts that on a spreadsheet, and let's talk about the 4% rule. The old rule that says you can withdraw 4% of your savings a year safely. Research shows that even with that conservative rule, most retirees end up with more money at the end of retirement than they started with. A $2 million portfolio with a 4% withdrawal rate? Most retirees die with more than $2 million. So the problem isn't running out of money. The problem is not giving yourself permission to spend it, to enjoy the money you worked so hard for. I've never met a retiree who said, "I wish I'd been more conservative with my spending early in retirement." But I've met plenty who said, "I wish I'd given myself permission to enjoy my money sooner." So let's go back to that lie we started with. Work as long as possible. Maximize your nest egg. That's not wisdom. That's a trap. If you're financially ready, if the math works, retire. As soon as you can, responsibly, not recklessly, not without a plan. But as soon as you can, because every year you wait is a year you're not living the life you've been saving for. Don't wait until you're 70, and your health is failing to realize you traded your life for a bigger bank balance. Choose life. Choose time, choose yourself. That's the only retirement advice that matters. What would you do if you could retire tomorrow? What's the one thing you'd pursue? Drop a comment below, I read every single one. And if this made you rethink your retirement timeline, share it with someone who's stuck in the grind. We all need permission to choose life over a slightly bigger number in a retirement account.